Thank you so much, Mr. Black, one of Fort Bend ISD's finest. I thank you again for being here, and we will begin with opening remarks from Mr. Chris Godbold, Chairman of the Fort Bend County Historical Commission.
Good morning. As Chastity said, my name is Chris Godbold. I am Chairman of the Fort Bend County Historical Commission. On behalf of the Commission, it is my privilege and pleasure to welcome you to this dedication ceremony for the Texas State Historical Marker for the Sugar Land 95 State Convict Lease Labor Camp Cemetery. It's kind of a mouthful. The Fort Bend County Historical Commission is an all-volunteer group appointed by the County Commissioners Court to serve 2-year terms starting in odd-numbered years, which means that this is the first year of our new term. There are about 46 of us. Our role is to advise Commissioners Court on matters of historic preservation and to promote and encourage historic preservation and of all kinds in the community. The work of the Commission is primarily done through its committees, archives, cemetery, cultural resources, historic preservation, oral history, public affairs, research and markers, and our newest, Turning 250. We have a booth here today. Please stop by and learn more about what we do. The Commission meets quarterly. Our next meeting is August 19th at 3 p.m. at the Gus George Academy in Richmond. All of our Commission meetings are open to the public. You are all welcome and invited to attend. The Fort Bend County Historical Commission was made aware of the cemetery we are recognizing today shortly after its discovery. We have been active in assisting with its preservation, providing research, serving on focus groups, and offering advice when requested. This is an important day in the journey towards fully remembering the persons buried here and giving them the respect they may not have had in life. However, this is not the end of the journey. There is still work to do. The Fort Bend County Historical Commission stands ready to assist as the effort continues to do justice to the men and women interred in the Sugar Land 95 State Convict Lease Labor Camp Cemetery. On behalf of the Commission, I congratulate all those who had a role in obtaining this historical marker and thank them for all of their hard work and dedication. I thank all of you for being here today. We are excited to be here and look forward to even brighter days to come.
Thank you, Chris. Please welcome Pastor Trey Allen from the Vineyard Church to give today's invocation.
Let us pray. In the tradition of the prophet Ezekiel, we say, "These bones cry out, God, hear their cries." These dry and brittle bones, these lives whose voices have been silenced, whose lives ended in brutality and covered up to be forgotten, will not remain quiet, for these bones cry out, God, hear their cries. They cry out for their stories to be told. They cry out for their families to receive answers, for this community to remember what has been done, that the dignity that was denied them in life might be restored in their resting. They cry out to be seen, for the painful past of this ground to be tilled and reckoned with. that those of us who have not inherited their pain, but have received the generational privilege of that system, might face what lies beneath the foundation of our privilege, that we might hear, that we might listen, that we might repent. These bones cry out. God, hear their cries. They cry out against the system of injustice and oppression that killed them, a system that saw these bodies as tools rather than people, a system that destroyed Black lives, Black families, and Black communities. They cry out against a justice system run by white men aimed to imprison and exploit the Black community, a system that reverberates to this very day. These bones cry out. God, hear their cries. These bones cry out not in vain. This valley of bones will not be dry forever. They cry out to a God who sees and hears, a God who breathes and resurrects, the God through whom all pain will be ended, all wrongs will be righted, all injustice will cease, and all ends have new beginnings. These bones cry out. God, hear their cries. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Thank you. I'd like to take a moment for anyone standing in the back who would like to have a seat to come forward. Make yourselves comfortable. At this time, I want to thank today's sponsors, because without their sponsorship, this event would not have been possible. I'll first start with our event host, Fort Bend Independent School District, for housing this wonderful event and for supporting the effort to honor and memorialize the Sugar Land 95, alongside with the Historical Commission, who's been here with us every step of the way, and the Friends of the Sugar Land 95, our official community partner in this work. So thanks for all of you who hosted the event today. I'll ask that our sponsors either stand or wave to be recognized. I'm going to start with Stantec, as Stantec was our premier sponsor for today's event. Stantec has a unique relationship, as they are the architectural firm that designed and presided over this vision of this facility. And so they have come alongside us to host this event to provide you with all of the enjoyment that you'll have for today. We also have HEB. Where's our HEB team? Thank you. HEB is more than just our neighbors on this historic property. They have been our longtime partners in this project, and every time I call, they answer, and I call a lot. But nonetheless, HEB is here today to provide us with some refreshments after the ceremony. And then we have Phoenix Design for providing the audiovisual for today. And following the ceremony, you will have an opportunity to walk about the courtyard and mix and mingle with several organizations that have either contributed financially to this effort, they have contributed in-kind donations for the community to enjoy, or they have committed their time and effort over and over again. And so I'm just going to list them, and if you could stand, hold your applause till the end. Representatives from the Vineyard Church, Viola Heritage House Museum, Fort Bend History Association, Sugar Land Heritage Foundation, the Fort Bend Museum, Fort Bend Education Foundation, the Principal Research Group, Fort Bend Black Heritage Society, and the Fort Bend County Libraries. Thank you all. And now I have the pleasure of introducing my partner in justice in this work. For several years now, we together have been able to elevate the work of her late husband, Mr. Reginald Moore. I call to the stage none other than Miss Marilyn Moore.
Good morning, and happy Juneteenth, happy Emancipation Day. On behalf of the Sugarland 95, Friends of the Sugarland 95, we thank you for joining us for this historic occasion, which has been about 3 years in the making. Thank you to the Fort Bend and Texas Historical Commissions for engaging with the community to tell the untold story about convict leasing in Texas, and more specifically in Fort Bend County and Sugarland. Thank you for engaging with the Friends of the Sugarland 95 and making this dedication and unveiling possible. This is an occasion of mixed emotions for me, joy and sadness that the advocate, the first friend of the Sugarland 95, the late Reginald Moore, is not here to witness this occasion. But God said something different. So here we are today to keep moving forward. As some of you may have heard my story of supporting my husband in the background, and now almost 5 years since his transition from July 3rd of 2020, I am leading the Friends of the Sugarland 95, which I founded with some other community friends. It is a 501c3 nonprofit and the official community partner organization with Fort Bend ISD for the Sugarland 95 Memorial Project. We made it official through an affiliate agreement signed on September 23rd, 2024 with the Fort Bend School District. This morning, we have some friends. We like to call people who support us friends. We have some friends who have taken the time from their busy schedules to join us for this momentous occasion. As I call your name or your organization, please wave your hand or stand so that we can acknowledge your presence, because presence is important. So here are the several people and groups of people that are present with us today. Will the Fort Bend ISD Board of Trustees, past and present, please stand? Will all elected officials, past and present, stand to be recognized? Will members of the Texas and Fort Bend County Historical Commissions please stand? Will the representatives and staff members from Fort Bend ISD, local, city, and county offices please stand? Will my partners in justice, as Chastity stated, Friends of the Sugarland 95, please stand? There's one other group that I would like to stand, my pastor, Ira Coleman, and the Christian Community Church family who is represented here today. Last, did I miss anyone? Okay. Last, but definitely not least, will the relatives of the Sugarland 95, along with the principal research group, please stand to be recognized. Again, thank you for coming today and being here today, for being present with us. And at this time, I would like to invite Fort Bend ISD Board President, Ms. Kristen Tassin, to the podium to give remarks.
Thank you, Ms. Marilyn, and good morning, everyone. It is truly an honor and a privilege for me to stand before you today as on behalf of Fort Bend ISD and, of course, our Board of Trustees, a few of whom are here. You saw earlier when Ms. Marilyn introduced them. It is truly humbling to be able to be here with so many members of the community, particularly the relatives who are here today to commemorate the Sugarland 95 and celebrate the awarding of an official Texas historical marker for the cemetery. The dedication is significant because it formally recognizes this site as a vital part of Texas history, and that is important. It honors the discovery of the Sugarland 95 and the cemetery's importance in educating the public about a shameful and overlooked time in both local and state history. It's also a testament to our community that feel passionately about honoring these individuals and bringing their story to light, which is critically important. We have to remember history. We have to learn from it. In 2017, I was actually serving my first term as board president when the remains of the Sugarland 95 were discovered. So this is truly a full circle moment for me. That experience had a huge impact on me as a leader, as the discovery of its magnitude was unprecedented in our district and in our community. Fast forward 7 years, and one of my first actions as returning board president was signing the Memorandum of Understanding with the Friends of the Sugarland 95. So I want to thank Ms. Marilyn, I want to thank Mr. Reggie, and I want to thank all of the Friends for all of your persistence and your hard work in getting to this day. This is an important step, our Memorandum of Understanding, that helps secure the support that the district needed to move forward in this important work and to ensure that the community had a meaningful voice in how we were going to memorialize these individuals with dignity and with respect. As a lifelong learner, I've always believed that history should be taught and told even when it's hard. And as a leader, I understand that some of the most difficult chapters in history hold the most valuable lessons. In closing, I want to encourage my fellow leaders who are here today and who aren't here today to be courageous enough to confront the uncomfortable issues and to be bold enough to lead with conscience. At this time, please welcome Ms. Alicia Costello from the Texas Historical Commission.
Shout out to my #1 fan over there. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alicia Costello, and I am joining you to represent the Texas Historical Commission in the State Historical Marker Program. As with every marker we produce, this marker first started with an application. Over a several-year period, we worked with the County Historical Commission, Fort Bend ISD, several local stakeholders, and one foundry to produce the marker that you will see before you today. By our very, very, very quick count, and I did this on my phone, so take it with a grain of salt, this is the 10th state historical marker for Sugarland and about the 109th for Fort Bend County. I love a stat. In the marker program, we know that we are not the first to tell any of the stories that end up on our markers, and we will not be the last either. The stories first belong to the people who lived them, in this case, the men who found their final resting place here, and their families who mourned them. Many of these men experienced the first Juneteenth and tasted freedom. However, through increasingly strict laws passed in the subsequent decades, known as Black Codes, they ended up back in chains through the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. Under these new chains, they did the same types of work in the same types of places they had done pre-1865. These men would never experience freedom again, and their families were irreparably changed. Next, the story belongs to the torchbearers who kept the story alive and brought it to this point. And right here, I have to point out, I would be remiss if I did not specifically call out Reggie Moore and Marilyn Moore. They researched extensively and advocated tirelessly for their stories to be told. Because of these torchbearers, the story now belongs to the community members and partners here today. You are the new torchbearers. Whether you have been carrying the torch for 30 minutes or 30 years, you ensure that the story continues to our descendants. We know this marker is just one of those efforts to see that the story remains available for future generations, but we hope it is an effective one. This marker also represents something I personally love about doing local and public history. I always thought history was so black and white. I mean, like it was right there in black and white in my textbook. But I quickly learned that the history I read in my textbook had been gone over by many people before. I like to use the metaphor that the road of history we travel in school is a really well-paved road. It's like the 99 Parkway of roads, okay? It's the 59 of roads. Local history, seeing how the things you read in your textbook end up with the things and the people around you, that's different. Doing local history is akin to carving a path in the jungle with a machete. You follow breadcrumbs of information you find along the way, and you make the road. And yes, sometimes the scraps of information you're able to cobble together into a map leads you in circles or dead ends or more information than you thought possible. Sometimes you toss out half the map and start again. Sometimes you're having to tape pieces together. Sometimes you realize that you've taped two maps together as if they were one and you have to undo it. What you understand is the story is constantly evolving, expanding, subtracting, connecting, and offshooting. That is certainly true for this marker, which took a multitude of representatives from different disciplines and communities to produce what's here. We hope what we've done expands the knowledge of a history that you find interesting, whether that's agricultural history, family history, criminal justice history, sugarland history, Black history, or the dozens of other histories this narrative intersects. And we hope you pick up the torch and bear it beyond us. Take what we've done, carve the path a little further. But first, a warning. For every answer you find, 5 more questions will pop up, I promise you. And you will realize that no matter how hard or fast you work or how many internet tabs you keep open, your work is absolutely never done. That's the part about being a torchbearer. You pick up the torch from generations past, carry it while you can, and the future generations will pick it up from you. And if you have any spare time, don't just study history, make it. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you so much.
Thank you so much, Alicia, for those words. Truly powerful statements that rang true in so many ways. Today, we have with us several of our officials who represent us in this community who intend to help us to commemorate this special event with an official act of recognition. I want to make sure that you hear me when I say it is due to the support of our local representatives over the years and in the future that will allow the school district to fulfill its commitment to the community and to educate generations to come. And for that, I personally thank you. At this time, in order in which you arrived, I will call up our officials to provide you with either a proclamation or a resolution at this auspicious occasion. First and foremost, Commissioner Andy Myers from Precinct 3, which presides over this area, to come to the podium.
Good morning, everyone. I have a 30-minute proclamation I have here. We'll be brief. I know there's a lot of our elected officials have some, so I'm going to read only the last paragraph of my proclamation. I, Commissioner Andy Myers, hereby proclaim this Juneteenth holiday appreciation to the many folks across Fort Bend County and the state of Texas who worked tirelessly to establish this memorial site as a place of remembrance for those who suffered and died under the Texas convict lease system, and to ensure their stories are preserved and shared with future generations. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Next, we have newly elected City Councilman from the City of Sugar Land, Mr. Sanjay Singhal.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sanjay Singhal, and it is my honor to be part of this ceremony and read out this proclamation on behalf of Sugar Land City. So this is the dedication of the Texas State Historical Marker honoring the Sugar Land 95 on this day, June 19, 2025. This dedication on Juneteenth, a day marking the emancipation of the enslaved Texan in 1865, honors the memory of the Sugar Land 95 and reaffirms our commitment to justice, liberty, and healing. Now, therefore, be it known that on behalf of the Sugar Land City Council and the Mayor of Sugar Land City hereby proclaims June 19, 2025 as a day of remembrance for the Sugar Land 95 and commend the ongoing efforts of the Friends of the Sugar Land 95. Thank you. And I would like to leave this podium with my own words, saying that as a moving on journey, we should all remember that we should forgive but not forget. That should be our motto to move forward. Thank you very much.
Next, on behalf of State Representative Matt Morgan, I call Melissa McCullum to the podium. Stand and be recognized. Thank you. Ms. Birdie Kelly, on behalf of State Senator Boris Miles.
Good morning. Whereas the era of convict leasing was a dark chapter in Texas history, and the placement of the undertold historical marker at the Sugar Land site will help to preserve and honor the memories of the many individuals whose lives were tragically lost as a result of that unjust system. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the dedication of the undertold historical marker memorializing the Sugar Land 95 be commemorated, and all those involved in securing this designation be commended for their efforts. From State Senator to Senate District 13, Boris L. Miles.
Will Representative Dr. Lalani, that's how I know you, come up to the stage.
Good morning. Well, first of all, kudos to the leadership of Sugar Land 95. From the idea and where we are now in short 3 years. So thank you for your foresight. Thank you for your commitment. Anybody who's involved with SL 95, please stand up. I think you all deserve a good round of applause. Anybody has to do anything with Sugar Land 95. Thank you. Thank you. It is my immense honor to be part of this historic event today. You know, the greatest thing about America is not its economy. Many other countries have it. Not about its leadership, not about its military might. But the greatest thing about America is its promise of freedom. And Barbara Jordan very well said, what the people want is very simple. They want an America as good as its promise. And we need to remember that as we strive for freedom for ourselves, we cannot get freedom for ourselves if we deny freedom to others. On June 19, 1865, our Union forces arrived in Galveston only 2.5 years later, but it's always good to be late than never. So I'm glad that we are celebrating this event. As a physician legislator, I take pride in taking care of ailing patients and ailing policies, because I feel in my core healing through listening, healing through engagement, and healing through service. And that's exactly what we are doing here today. We are learning, we are healing through our mistakes so we don't repeat it again. It is my honor to present with the resolution today to commemorate the good work of Sugar Land 95 and to make this history today. Thank you and have a good day.
And to close off our recognitions, someone who has a unique position. I'll probably steal your thunder, Commissioner McCoy, sorry. Commissioner McCoy actually started on the journey to honor the Sugar Land 95 alongside me 7 years ago, if you can believe that, when he worked in the school district. And here he is today to close us off with his words and his proclamation.
Well, good morning, everybody. It is indeed an honor to be in the room today. I first have to thank all of you for being in this room. I remember when this work started, this room did not look like this. But because of tireless efforts of folks like Miss Marilyn Moore, folks like Chastity Olenu-Alade, and I have to say champions like our board president, Kristen Tassin, all of us are in this room today. So please give yourselves a round of applause. Now, I'm going to read this paragraph and I'm going to sit down, but I can't underscore this enough. I am delighted that Board President Tassin is back on the board and has recommitted the district to the mission of remembering this work. She was a tireless, fearless advocate for Sugar Land 95 when I was a staff member here in the district, and she is a fearless advocate in ensuring that the district keeps its commitments to the memories of these souls, but also ensuring that the county keeps its commitment to ensure that we too participate and convey the $1.5 million to help to build out this park. I'm going to make sure that that gets done. Whereas this historical marker honors the lives of the Sugar Land 95 and acknowledges the injustice they endured and ensures their stories will not be forgotten, and whereas their stories would have remained largely untold if not for the tireless efforts of community members like Reginald Moore, whose perseverance in seeking acknowledgement of this history ultimately prevailed and led to this moment. Now, therefore, I, Dexter L. McCoy, County Commissioner of Fort Bend County Precinct 4, do hereby recognize June 19, 2025 as Sugar Land 95 Remembrance Day. Thank y'all.
We appreciate all of your support in this work. It has been a very long road, as Alicia alluded to, one that was not akin to the smooth freeway of Highway 59. It's definitely been our way cutting through the jungle, not even with a machete, sometimes with a kitchen knife. But nonetheless, we continue to cut through and carve that path, not just for ourselves, but for the future generations to come. At this time, I want to take a moment to reflect, because when we started this work officially 5 years ago, we coined our motto, which you see on the screen, which is Sugarland 95, found and not forgotten. Because all too often we come to know things at the surface that are painful, that are hard, that we don't quite know how to reason with, and we just push them back under the rug. And in this case, we made a commitment to ensure that that did not happen again. And so I want to provide you all with an opportunity for us all to reflect on what that journey has been like for the past 7 years since the discovery and the past 5 years since the Sugarland Memorial Project was commissioned. So at this time, I'll cue it over to you guys. It felt so appropriate to take you all on the journey with us. Because as you can see, the history of convict leasing in this area was one that was not widely talked about, definitely wasn't taught about. And over the past 5 years, we have done the work. You hear people talk about do the work. We have done the work, and we have not taken it lightly, nor have we taken the opportunity to do the work for granted. We know that today when truths are questioned and people pick holes in what are facts, you can't argue with the artifacts that we have here on display. To be able to tell our story as a community of learners, of leaders, of family who are committed to ensuring that the lives and the legacy of those individuals, 94 men, 1 presumed female, are not lost. The goal is to reclaim their identities and to be able to say their names with full force so that they can ascend to new heights, to finally be free. And on this Juneteenth holiday, there's no better way than to celebrate this installation and dedication of the historical marker for the Sugar Land 95. A little guilty confession. In the program, I'm listed as the keynote, but as speeches came in, I realized there wasn't quite much more for me to say, because you all have said it all. And some things are better left unsaid and left for us to reflect upon as we depart here today. If you noticed in the slideshow, a heavy emphasis was laid upon students. How many of you noticed that? Children. I started my journey in this school district 20 years ago as an 8th grade U.S. history teacher. And I taught U.S. history for about 8 years. And not once did I educate a single student about the system of convict leasing, or the period known as convict leasing. And so one of the things that I have held as my personal mission is to ensure that this chapter of history, which has been open for us all to know about, is one that not only the students learn about, but that our community have an opportunity to learn about as well. And so we emphasize learning in this facility. And we have an exhibit that you all have an opportunity to enjoy and engage with before you leave today. Also, a living testimony is that sometimes learning doesn't happen just in the classroom. And so about 2 years ago, maybe a year ago, a group of students reached out to me. And I wasn't their teacher. I didn't know them. And they were all from different schools, and we have a very large school district, by the way. And they wanted to start a group because they had learned about the Sugar Land 95 in their classes. And they felt that they too had work to do. And so there's a group of students who developed a virtual exhibit that features the Sugar Land 95 and the James Reese Center. And today they are here to present that to you. Their showcase includes a detailed 3D model of the Sugar Land 95 exhibit, models of Sugar Land past in the history of Sugar Land. They have done research and they have developed a physical model as well for you all to view. It offers a meaningful opportunity to show you all how technology can help remember those who have gone through hardships due to the convict leasing system. I would like my student exhibitors to please stand. I encourage you all to please take some time today and visit them at the Learning Stairs to see their work. Hopefully we'll have a live launch very soon in the upcoming school year, as they're all rising seniors, and that makes me sad. But nonetheless, we have worked with students, we have worked with research groups, we have had the opportunity of becoming extended family to several of the relatives of the Sugar Land 95. We've also had the opportunity, thanks to the work of our board, to work alongside the world-renowned architectural firm known as the Mass Design Group, to outfit us with renderings of what can come to the cemetery space. And at this time, I would like to provide you with a production from the Mass Design Group to help us tell our story and also garner support for the Sugar Land 95 project.
When you call someone's name, you're acknowledging their existence. You're acknowledging that they were here. When you're not talking about it or acknowledging it, it's like they're dying again.
So part of this project is to reclaim the identities of those folks who are buried in the cemetery. Because it's important for you to feel part of the discovery at this site during the construction of this facility. I'm going to start us off with a video.
A construction site has turned into an excavation site. Crews working on a Fort Bend ISD building
uncovered human remains that turned out to be the unmarked graves of 94 men and 1 woman.
Archaeologists exhumed the century-old bones and determined they belonged to 94 males and 1 female, one as young as 14, one as old as 70. Black prisoners, among them former slaves, forced to work on plantations and railroads after slavery ended, part of the statewide convict leasing system.
Some of the descendants of these individuals have stories, and those stories are what's helping us to be able to make meaning of the cemetery, figuring out who they are, but most importantly, being able to say their names again.
I have been doing genealogy research in my family for years. There were males in our family missing, but I didn't know what happened to them. And one of the men that was missing was Isaac Rhodes. So I looked, and I found him in this record. One of my relatives is a Sugar Land 95 member. When you're doing research in your family, you don't really want to talk about the bad things. You just want to let the good things shine. History is sometimes good, sometimes bad. You have to take your personal feelings out. It's not really about you. We can't pick and choose what history you want to tell. We have to address all of it.
You don't hear a lot about what happens after slavery. They took sugar, a product of their hard work, and they used it and they packaged it and they sold it.
You start thinking about the lives of these people, of what they went through. How many of you have seen real sugar cane?
Harvesting sugar cane, you're hacking at it, hacking at it, hacking at it until finally it breaks down. You're pulling at the bark. Your hands are getting torn and bloodied, and you're going to pass it through these huge stone rollers, and oftentimes your hand would get caught. Pushing like that or working like that is incredible to survive, to fight for your life.
What is it that you gain from coming out here and observing the cemetery?
You only ever hear about it, like you never see the evidence.
Yeah, it usually seems like real.
The cemetery is a natural point of attraction. And so we want to make sure that the cemetery space provides the community with the same benefit that the internal exhibit does.
We hope to build this outdoor learning area.
It's a place where we can come and start healing, not only for those who were a part of what happened, but for the new generation.
Today we're going to talk about the homecoming and the homegoing. Homecoming. What do we think that means? Returning home, right? And then homegoing. What does that mean? Leaving home. How many of you have ever heard that in a unique context? The young lady mentioned that she's heard it before in context of a funeral. Because the notion of a homegoing is a ceremonious event to lay someone to rest with the hope that they go to heaven. We work with a design firm to help us vision what a proper memorial site would and could and should look like. And how could it be befitting of a true homegoing celebration?
What Chastity was presenting yesterday to the students, the homegoing service, this idea that we can physically represent those phases of the wake, of the service, of the procession, and then ultimately of the repass here on this site. As you're approaching the site, you have this sense of a forest. There's shade, but it's also this symbolic reference to the families, the loved ones, the communities of these folks that are still here. And within that, there's this clearing. there's this void, which is the burial ground. For the next part of a homegoing service, you have the procession. There will be a boardwalk that allows you to walk over, through, and amongst the markers, then ultimately ending at a larger pavilion structure as the repast, this celebratory moment, where there is an opportunity to bring a larger group of folks for some of the annual celebrations that are already taking place here, to acknowledge this history, as well as to think about the lives of these individuals, the impact that they had on building this place that we now call Sugar Land, and how this history can actually call the rest of us now to action.
So it gives people the opportunity now to discuss that without holding back and without having fear, because a lot of times we didn't talk out of fear. And that's what happened in a lot of small towns.
I knew about the history of Convict leasing. I just didn't think it was in my family. Let it breathe. Don't let it die.
These convict labor programs were all across the South, in more than just Texas. There were hundreds of them.
We want to be the blueprint of this type of situation. And we want to be able to share that blueprint with others.
Now it's like a monument, the bigger, like it's able to expand.
The 95 lives over there, they stood for something. They died for something. We need to memorialize them, not for us, nationwide, so America can see Fort Bend County did the right thing.
So in closing, I will remind you all that the work is not done. And I think Alicia gave all of you a torch today, and helping us carry that torch as we continue down this road to honor and memorialize the Sugar Land 95. But I'll be honest when I say we cannot do it alone. We need your support. Today, after the ceremony, they'll have opportunities for you to learn more about the discovery, the Sugar Land 95, and how you can help. We'll have students handing out cards that show you the different efforts. We're running 3 races right now. The first race is to help us identify who the Sugar Land 95 are, to be able to connect them to their living relatives. The second race is to outfit this site into an outdoor learning area and a proper memorial. I need y'all to realize thousands of students. Ms. Lang, how many students come here a year? 1,500 students annually come to school here, and they walk past a cemetery every day. They deserve to learn, but they also deserve to do it in an environment that is welcoming and conducive of them reflecting and truly embracing the history of what happened. And then thirdly, we have just the ongoing efforts by our friends to keep our programs going, to keep the tours going, to keep the site beautified from here on into perpetuity. And so today, feel free to grab one of these. Our student volunteers will be handing these out at the end. And if you're not quite sure, bright idea person. We have a card. You can leave us your name, your information, and ways you might be interested in supporting or committing to support to this effort. Because this is not the last time we are here in this room. I guarantee you. First time I was here in this room for the Sugar Land 95 was 7 years ago when we reinterred them, and the room was probably a quarter full. And here we are today, 7 years from then, with a packed house, standing room only if you haven't looked behind. And I guarantee you, when we finish this race and we have that outdoor learning area and a proper cemetery, we won't be able to be contained in these 4 walls. We will be out there celebrating, remembering as a community, as a family, dedicated to honoring, memorializing, and ensuring that the Sugar Land 95 are found and not forgotten. Due to it being Juneteenth, I feel like we've left something out that is so appropriate. I'd like for everyone at this point to stand as my friend Derek Black comes back up
and we will all together enjoy his musical rendition of Lift Every Voice and Sing. testing. Testing, testing. All right.
Ensuring the stories about the bodies found alone in this field are not forgotten. Has driven this work for the last 5 years.
If I can have everyone to find a space. We're going to start our outdoor dedication with a musical dedication by none other than another one of Fort Bend ISD's finest. Yes, all the best are here. Mr. Gregory Saxman Daniels.
And the next step, they say, is to build up this outside area.
I forgot to tell y'all we were going to go to church today. If I could please have Fort Bend ISD recent graduate, Miss J. Coleman, to come to the podium.
Please may I have your attention. My name is Jade Coleman. It is an honor to be here with you all this morning. As a student in Fort Bend ISD, one who attended this very campus and walked these grounds each day. Being able to perform at this event means more than you can imagine. And I present to you an original poem, Echoes in the Earth. Recently, somebody told me there were graves beneath my classroom. I said, there are graves beneath my classroom. They said, there are graves beneath your classroom. No longer strange fruit bared upon the trees. There are whispers when class quiets down. There is history we can touch and not just see. The sugar on this land tastes bitter. Maybe because it's rotten, poison from the forgotten. There are graves beneath my classroom, hollowed out and carved within bones, not strange fruit, but still hanging. And we not at church, but I'm still praying. And for all the unspoken words I'll be saying, them, I pledge allegiance on blood-packed soil, where iron once kissed wrists, unearthed, but the wind still whispers their names. 95, no bow ties or coffins wrapped around their grave. No textbook taught me how to carry the weight of the forgotten. So I'll write them back into history with every breath that I speak, every accomplishment I reach, and every time I chose to stand and not settle for a seat. I mean, if this ground could speak, if this ground could talk, it wouldn't just reap, it would roar. 95, 95 black bodies, black children, black souls. Who do you hold when even the sun can't cancel out the cold? My walk and your walk is different. Maybe it's my ancestors next door fueling my intelligence. When I walk into school, I think I act different. Maybe it's because my ancestors are next door fueling my intelligence. It's way different when I say I am black excellence. There are bags under my eyes carrying all of my visions. Perhaps it's fueling my intuition. Just listen, I mean, we got memorials turning mourning into movement. It's been a long time. But what do we know? A change is gonna come. Oh yes, it will. About 150 years, we may not be able to go back, but moving forward, there will be nothing but flowers planted from their tears. I may not have been born by a river, but I was born with bare feet that will walk, that will march, that will dance, that will stand, that will go everywhere that they weren't allowed, that will stomp because they couldn't be loud, that will be proud of being used to chase my melanated dreams. I was walking to class the other day and I heard an echo from the earth, identifying, clarifying everything covered by the dirt. They said, Jade, show them everything our people are worth. The legacy of Sugarland 95 is not confined to tombs. It lives in me. It breathes in this poem, and as long as I speak, they will never be forgotten. Thank you. I would like to invite Katrina Banks-Whitley and Abigail Fisher from Principal Research Group to the podium for recognition of the cemetery and descendants. Thank you.
Sorry, real quick, I just have to say,
Wow, this is absolutely stunning and amazing. Abby and I have been here from the very beginning, and we did the excavations and also did all of the analysis, getting to hold everybody's hand who was here as they got to tell us their stories. So now to my written speech before I start crying. We are honored and humbled to get to share this day with you all and to have been part of the story of finding the Sugar Land 95 from the very beginning. How exciting it is to see so many of you here to honor the life of the Sugar Land and who strive to bring awareness to the importance of their lives, their lived experiences, their lessons from our past, and the meaning of family. Most of all, we are excited to have the ability to reconnect their families with their long-lost loved ones so they finally know what happened when their family member disappeared. Principal Research Group was formed by a group of dedicated scientists and historians to tell the stories of the underrepresented. Among the core research group that conducted excavation, laboratory analysis, and archival research for this project, a new idea coalesced. The close-knit group that had helped to illuminate the conditions suffered during this time of reinstituted slavery in the state of Texas wanted to continue the search for the identities of the deceased and use isotope and modern DNA techniques to learn as much as possible about this cemetery population. In response to the requests from advocacy groups, the descendant community, and other interested parties, Principal Research Group was formed to pursue DNA research and conduct genealogical and historical research to identify descendants of the people that we are standing here next today. Our goal is to give them back their names. In the fall of 2019, the Texas Historical Commission issued a permit to me as principal investigator and to Principal Research Group as the project sponsor to authorize a 10-year study that we are here to report on today. Standing here in 2018, I had no idea that when Rain Clark, an archaeologist with Goshawk Environmental Services, called, how important this location would become. I first stepped on site to identify what was thought to be a Native American individual, but subsequently I was standing there and identified a coffin, which then changed the complete trajectory of the project. Over the course of a few weeks, Rain would call me several times a day to update me on the number of individuals that he was finding every day. And one day he called and said, I found 15 in the last hour. Halfway through excavations, it became clear Reginald Moore was right. This was the convict labor cemetery he had warned was present. This realization quickly shifted the tone of the project. Every individual we carefully excavated told us a story about who they were. Every person buried here was a human being who had been met with the injustice of the era. Many of the individuals stick with me. And for example, when we found an approximately 14-year-old boy, the reality of what occurred here hit home, and it broke me when I was excavating his skeleton. This young boy, barely a teenager, was being forced to live in such horrible conditions and to lose his life in such a manner. His lost life shows just how the Sugar Land 95 are so very important because they are a reminder of the inhumanity of our past and how those actions of our forefathers shape the reality of our today and our children's futures. Although we cannot tell his mother what happened to her son, it is our goal to give him back his dignity, name, and find family who will finally know the truth of what happened to their ancestor. Please take a moment today to visit this boy. He is unknown grave number 7. Through the partnership with the Snow Molecular Anthropology Laboratory, we have been highly successful in extracting DNA for the necessary identifications. Their expertise and knowledge on how to run DNA while maintaining strict confidentiality of the Sugar Land 95 DNA and the living relatives, and their use of the forensic investigative genetic genealogy tests allows us to search for the relevant DNA necessary to identify relatives without prying into other sensitive personal information found in the DNA of those that are submitting their tests. The results from the FIG test is compared to GEDmatch and family tree DNA, and those people who share genetic relationships with the individuals are sent to our genetic genealogist, Rita Simonetta, who connects the DNA match results to living individuals. Through research of genealogical histories, she can uncover their identity. It is a difficult, long, and arduous task to accomplish, but we are committed to accomplishing this for every single Sugar Land 95 member. This task cannot be done without the support of the community.
And without relatives coming forward to provide their DNA for comparison, it is impossible. Comparative DNA gives us the ability to check for relatedness, and the participation of living relatives sharing family histories, documents provides the family records and history necessary to make these family connections and accomplish the identifications. In most instances, Rita must make connections with people who are 4th and 5th degree relatives with family connections going all the way back to the 1840s, and at times even earlier. Community and support from relatives are key to this process, and the task of identification is not easy since we are dealing with very few written documents recording the names of African Americans and their relatives. Historic records are few and far between, making it almost impossible to make identifications through historic documents alone. But with combining DNA and the records that do exist, Rita has been able to work miracles in building family trees for individuals that lived over 100 years ago. We would like to thank the genetic and genealogic family members for their continued support and faith in our efforts that we can accomplish this goal. Also, a huge thank you to you, Chastity, for being here from the beginning for us for all of these years and having faith in us. We'd also like to thank the Texas Historic Commission, Fort Bend ISD, Honey Brown Hope Foundation, Marilyn Moore, and the Friends of the Sugarland 95. Sojas, Yor and Runfeld, and the crew at Family Tree DNA. Notably, the support of Kaijin, the developers of the FIG genealogy kit we have been using, as they are providing free kits, discounted kits, and the free DNA kits that are here today for anybody who thinks that they are a relative of the Sugarland 95. You can come actually get a test and start participating today. For free.
We are proud to now have two undertold markers. The marker for Terry versus Adams, the landmark 1953 U.S. Supreme Court Civil Rights case, and now this marker commemorating Sugarland 95. System. This dedication is more than a historical acknowledgement. It is an act of restoration, remembrance, and responsibility. Markers like these give voice to those silenced by time and circumstance. They help us tell a more complete and truthful story